like information systems are there, and why we require this information system. So when we talk about a term cyber security, then how we can say that information system is required in the case of cyber security? Because in information system, we are working with all those system, all those nodes that are available in the network part. Okay, so who is initiating that? On every node or a computer system that is available on the network, that is working as a particular system. Okay, so that is either that particular system is transferring some data, or it is receiving some particular data. Okay, so what we want over here, that we need a proper information system that help us in order to pass that information from one node to the another node in a particular network. So this was the second part in which we have discussed that what are the different information system. Okay, so what are the different components of information systems are there, and how we can protect our particular information system, right? So in the third portion, we have discussed that there are different what are the different risk management techniques on this information system, how we can prevent all those risks, what are the different methods for that, what basic methodology we should use in order to just protect our system for any type of a risk in between. Okay, so in the fourth unit, in case of this particular subject, that is cyber security, what we need to discuss over here, that what basic security policy which we may find out. So till now you must be understood that in the theory content, we are concerned about all those things that we required in order to develop our particular node or a system in a particular network. Okay, in a cyber space. So whatever the topics that we are covering, that is in relation with this cyberspace world. I hope you understand the word cyberspace. So cyberspace is such type of a thing in which every node is being connected to the different node in a particular, we can say that in a connectionless ways. ठीक है, or a connection oriented way it could be, but we are transferring all those data using the help of a internet. So in the lab portion, what we need to discuss over here, that we are just discussing how all these attacks, like we have discussed so many attacks, phishing is there, malware, spywares are there. So some of the topics that we will be covering under this lab portion. So in the part B part, you are required to show the similar process in another way, or you can develop your own method in order to attack a particular network over there. Is it fine? So in fourth unit, now we will be dealing with that what are the different policy we may require in order to protect a system. Now we say that you see, whatever the contents nowadays we are obtaining, that is through the this cyberspace only. Okay, like we are using system, we are using internet, we are using wi-fi's, and we are using hotspots. Okay, so we are having networks and all those things. So everything is possible. Why so? Because we are the part of this cyber world. So do you think that we require any type of a security while using that internet? Now during this covid time, this pandemic time, you have seen that everybody is at their home, and everybody is performing their tasks through their home only. So how all this thing is possible? That is through the with the help of the internet. But now the usage of all those things, usage of internet, especially in case of educational institution, if we talk about, everything is available on that internet. So do you think we require some security policy for that? Yes, anybody can answer. Yes, Paras Kumawat is there. Yes, you tell me that do you think that we should use any security policy? Why we require all these security policies? Just to maintain a system, just to see that whatever the contents that we are sharing on the internet is safe, and it is not being distorted in between, right? So we want the same the security at both the ends while transferring of data from one system to the another part, or from the source to the destination part. So yes, any one of you who can tell me? Yes, Yash Jalani is there. Yash Jalani. Yash Udewal.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Yash. How are you?
Good, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, Yash, we were talking about that like in today's time, most of the content that we are discussing, that is the part of our cyberspace only, right? So, do you think that we require some security policy for that?
Yes, ma'am, we need it.
We need it. So what type of a security policy is there? Like I am sharing some data with you. Okay. So if I tell you that don't just pass my data, so you will obey my instruction or not?
Cyber security.
You will obey, but without any without any having type of a deal in between us. Okay. So everything that we are discussing, that is the part of the that verbal communication we are having, right? So if but when we talk about on the larger side, like where if we talk about our national security, or there is lot of data that is available on internet, so at that time it is the duty of the law part that to maintain such type of a policy under the should maintain that particular content under some particular law. Why so? Because we must have some proper, we can say that we must have some proper punishments for that, or we may have some proper laws for that. We may some have proper panels for that, that will evaluate if there is any threat to a particular content that is available on the internet. We should protect that particular part, right? So Yash, can you tell me, or you are aware about any of the law that is being concerned with this cyber security? This is just regarding that what type of information. Do you think that we have any law in our country, if we talk about India? So we are having any type of a law that is pertaining, that is just protecting our systems that are available on this cyberspace? कुछ पता है ऐसे आपको लॉस के बारे में?
Ma'am, everything should be end-to-end encrypted.
Sorry, Bite, your voice is not clear. I don't know why your voice is echoing.
Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am, first thing is that everything should be end-to-end encrypted between two persons.
No, that is the different part. This is how we can protect our that content by ourselves. ठीक है? तो हम अपनी तरफ से whatever the things, whatever the we can say that security मतलब जो हम measures लगा सकते हैं, that is up to that is dependent on a particular individual. बट अगर मेरे बार बार ये सब करने के बावजूद भी इफ देयर इज टाइप ऑफ ए लीकेज ऑफ एनी टाइप ऑफ ए थ्रेड or leakage of any type of a that information, or we have any type of we can say that if somebody just distort my that particular or mislead my content, then what is how we can protect our particular systems? So, okay, I will tell you that what is the reason behind that, that we must require a particular law for that. Okay, so law हमें क्यों चाहिए? Because everything we cannot control by our own selves by using best of the best method, but still there is a chance that there should be a particular law under which all that content should persist. Fine. So if you remember in the starting of this particular semester, we have done one exercise in which we were discussing regarding like what are the different threats, cyber attacks that we have faced so far. ठीक है, तो उस केस में आपने ये देखा होगा that whatever the attacks that we were facing, the company who was facing that particular threat has ordered a probe for that. ठीक है, so that company has informed that judiciary part that there is some misleading factors in their particular contents, so they are working on that particular behalf also. So if you remember, we have proper this cyber we can say that we have a proper this cyber world in which we can complain, we can have that complaints for a particular type of a cyber attack. तो उसके लिए we have a proper cyber branch also. Okay, so this is the thing that we need to cover in this particular unit, that if there is any type of a error, if there is any type of a problem that is related to the cyber world, at that time we have proper laws in our country that help us, that makes us the other party to come under that judiciary action. Okay, so we can take proper judiciary action regarding that concerned person over there. Yes, Nancy, any problem?
मैम नाज को परमिशन दे दो एंटर करने की.
Okay.
थैंक यू मैम.
Okay. Okay, right? So you understood this concept. So, okay, before starting this cyber law part, okay, there is a next thing that we need to discuss over here. I just share my screen with you. So last time what we have discussed, that what are the different security policy. My screen is visible to all, na? Yes, students.
Yes ma'am.
Okay, so we were having the different security policies with us. Okay, so we have discussed all this topic in the last session. After that, what we have discussed, that what basically a security policy is, what are the different steps that we may follow in order to just encapsulate that particular security policy in our organization, right? So we first need to find the particular issues, then we will conduct what type of analysis that we can work upon, that is there any chance that we can protect a system. So if still some problem arises, we must need some particular legal draft over there, and then we have legal review for that. Okay, and after that we can just deploy that particular policy. So I told you earlier also that when we download some particular software, when we get some particular software over there, so what we do over here, like they ask for that you are agree with this particular agreements, that you accept, you just click that particular we can say that a draft over there, that allows us to, that we are just accepting their particular policies and regulations. So without reading anything, we just accept for that. But what basically that draft means to us, that if there is any type of a leakage from our end, they have fully right that they can take to us the, and they can just bring us under the judiciary law for the same. Okay, so this was regarding that security policy. Then second one was that what is the need of security policy, why we need all these things. Okay, so this is just in order to make that particular system under that law, so that if there is any action that we cannot control, so we can take the help of a judiciary that can help us to just give the right person the right authority. Okay, so then we have discussed all those benefits. What are the, who uses all this security policy? That is administration, club staff, and the computer users that we are having. Then this was a what type of a document that we use for this policy part. Okay, so next is the components of the security policy. This is also we have covered. So this is just overview I am giving to you. Now the next thing is that is the email security policy. Now the first thing that we will be discussing under this part, that is the email security policy. So can email is what? That is electronic mail. Okay, so your email consists of various things that that you are transferring, that you are passing from one source to the different destination over there. Okay, so email policy is a document that formally outlines how one can use electronic communication tool. So email is it just we can say that this is a communication tool. Okay, so that will tell you that how you are passing some particular data from one source to the destination part. Okay, so we are having some particular policy for also, that policy sets the guidelines for which the that it will define that what is acceptable. Okay, and what is a what thing you can be accept in that particular case, and what are the things that you are not accepted in that particular part. Okay, so this is the email. So policy is what, how we can define a term policy. That is the guidelines, that is the regulations, that are the rules that will tell you that these are the things that you are allowed to do so, and the rest of the things you must avoid in order to face any type of action. Okay. So email has been around since the birth of the internet. So email, जब से हमारे पास internet, the first thing that we are using, that is the email only. ठीक है. So messages all are sent in the real time. ठीक है. But we cannot use them in the obtrusive way, that we cannot just pass out all those things at any time. So recipient, the receiver end, does not have to read the message immediately. So it is not an intrusion like a telephone call. Like there is a phone call or a mobile call that you are having, you have to accept that particular call. There is no chance that you can accept that particular call later on. But in the case of an email, this thing is not there, that if you are sending some particular email, so it's not like that you have to read or you have to attend that particular email at that same times. ठीक है. तो इसमें क्या है, that there is a chance that some intruder, some malware could be there that can just change that can just change the content of your email, that can just change the recipients of your email. ठीक है. So it is just like that why we requires the security in this particular case of email. ठीक है. So there are somehow 10 we can set instruction that we can that we need to follow in case of an email policy. So we need to demonstrate the same respect that gives to the verbal communication. So email is not like that if anything that you are passing using that electronic media. So if you are using anything, any type of a language over there, so you must have some particular respectable language for that, for writing that content of that particular email. Okay. Secondly, you must be aware about all the spellings, grammar, and that you must read all that message thoroughly before we should send that particular email. Okay. So we should not always follow or forward the chain letter. So we must provide some changes in that, or we must work according to just have some our own views and ideas regarding that particular email over there. Okay. So we should also does not transmit any type of a like we have a spam messages over there, unsolicited emails are there to anyone. So before without knowledge of having all those spam messages, we should not pass it to the another part. Fifth thing is that we should not send any type of a message that is harassing anyone or threatening to fellow users. Okay. Or any type. So do you have some any real time this example of this, that like we are hateful, that is harassing or a threatening message to the fellow user? So if you remember, in media, there was previously a famous actor has complained, have given complaint in the cyber this branch, that some another female actress is harassing him on the email part. So that case is, if you remember, any one of you who can tell me that I am talking about which particular person? Yes, students. So there is a currently there is a famous this track is going on, in which we have many times we have heard about that a particular famous actor is complaining about a famous actress, that particular person is harassing him on the email part. So I will tell you later on that I am talking about which particular this actor and actress. Right. So this also come under this cyber branch only. Okay. So you should not send any message that supports illegal or unethical activities. So that is also the part of your email ethics we are having. So that is your email is equivalent to the postcard. Okay. So you should not also send the sensitive information also. Like many times you have been asked for your sensitive information, like your credit card details, your phone numbers, and all those things through the emails. So we should not use all those things through the email part. Okay. So you should not use their email broadcasting facility except for making the proper announcements over there. So you should also make that to whom you are broadcasting your email. So the content and both the recipients should be the should be the required person that you are having. Okay, you should keep the personal email used to the minimum. So we must also see that for any type of the official work we must have some different email, and for the personal content we must have our own personal emails over there. Okay, so so we should also protect the policies and the procedures, okay, that should help us to protect our emails from the different abusers that we are having. Okay, so if we are using any type of official email, so we should maintain the dignity of that particular email part, and we should protect our emails from any type of a different use, protect them from the abusers also. Okay, so this is clear. So when we are writing some particular email policy, there are some rules that we need to follow. That we should be that whatever the policy that we are writing, we should see that it should promote the responsibility of that particular email. Okay, so it should also support the organization goals and the business requirements for the day. Right. So some of the item that should be included in the policy concern. Okay, so whatever the items that we are including in that particular email, we must understand that what is the content we are using, what is the general usage, and how we can comply that particular policy over there. Right. So these are the main things that you must understand that while you are writing for that particular email part. Yes, students. Any discussion? Any doubt regarding this particular part? Okay, so second is that administration of email, that how you can administer your email part. Okay, so it will discuss the action that the organization that will follow if there is any type of a mismanagement of the email system. Okay, so your administrative policy should also establish that it has full right that it can scan messages that is passed through that email system. So if you are using any type of a official email for that, so you have a full authority that you can scan any type of a message for that. Okay, so there is also policy that whatever the organization can do, that it has a full right to administer its particular official emails. Okay, so your email policy also include the mechanism to limit the size of the messages and to prevent the overloading of servers and the network bandwidth. So this is also one of the policy for the email, that it has full right that it can limit your size of message, and it can also prevent the overloading of the servers over there. Okay, so next thing is that the organization must also include a policy that will allow you to use proxies, gateways, and other means to aid the transmission of messages. So this is the duty of this particular organization. If there is any type of a problem, so organization has a full right that they can use all those proxies and gateways. Right. So if email messages are achieved, so you can also see that the outlines the basics for how it will work. Okay, so you can see over here that what should be defined, so that the retention period and the potential exception should be there over there. So this everything is included while you are administrating your particular email over there. Okay, so obviously email is like a simple postcard that we are having, or any type of official data that you are using. So we must have that policies for sending the confidential communication also. Okay, so that will provide you that how we can encrypt that data before the transmission, and we can also use the concept of digital signature that we have already discussed. So same thing can work with this email part also. Okay, next thing is that encryption policies are really not the scope of email policy. So policy statement should refer the users to the organization encryption policy for that information. So we cannot directly use that encryption policy by our own end, but it is the organization encryption policy that we need to follow if we are using some any type of a organization emails for sending some particular data over there, right? So any doubt regarding this email policy? Yes, students. So these some of the contents are I can say that these some of the contents are like theory based, but they have quite information like which you might not be knowing it earlier. So kindly listen to all those contents, and obviously that will help you in attempting your exams also, right? So is it clear? Yes, Paras Kumawat. Paras Kumawat is there? Narinder Pal? Yes, Narinder Pal. Yes, Narinder Pal. Yes, bete.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Narendra Pal. You got the idea that what we are discussing so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, you got the idea now that what we are talking about, why we require this email policy. Can you please tell us your views regarding the same?
मैम सिक्योरिटी पर्पस के लिए मेनली
Why
हमें चाहिए होती है.
why email is so much is so essential? Why email? Why we are targeting email as a target? We can, as a most prominent thing in the this cyber world.
Ma'am, because most of the people use emails daily for their
Yes.
work, for their
Yes.
personal things. That's why.
Especially nowadays, okay, especially nowadays where most of the person are working from their home, okay, so most of the content that
Yes,
we
ma'am.
are sharing, that
So
is through the email policy only. Okay, so
emails,
like
yes,
if we
ma'am.
talk to
Yes.
any friend or any seniors of yours, like who is working in a current company or an organization, you might be hearing the same thing that they are doing so much emails in a day. Okay, so they are performing so
Yes,
many
ma'am.
tasks through these emails only. So it's not like if we see now a scenario for that student teacher also, so most of the contents that you are passing to us, that is through the emails only. Okay, so that is through some
Yes, ma'am.
software media that we are using. So this is like that if we are using that email part, so how we can protect that particular thing, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and now I will also be showing you some softwares that is required for this email part. Okay, so not maybe in this theory session, but in the lab session I will tell you some softwares that is working for the email security of that particular email, right? Okay, can I share one poll with you? So there is one poll, first poll that I am sharing with you, so kindly answer for the same. Okay, yes, student, kindly give answer for the first poll. Okay. Okay, students, I am going to end the poll. Okay, I am sharing the results with you. So the first question was that which of the following is not a type of a cyber crime? Okay, so installing antivirus for protection. This is not a cyber crime. This is the method that by which we can protect our systems, right? So the fourth answer is the right answer. So the second question is that cyber laws are incorporated for punishing all criminal ownership. No, that is not the true one. Okay, so cyber basically this is a wall statement, like cyber laws are incorporated for punishing all criminals. No, it will be concerned with only that particular criminal who is linked with the cyber world. Okay, also who is doing anything that is related to this cyber world, that is related to the network part. Clear? So second option is the right answer. Clear? Okay, shall we move further? Yes, students. Okay, so we will discuss the next part over here. Like we will discuss that what basically, if we talk about the cyber laws, so how we are dealing with this particular cyber laws in our country, right? So I just start from this particular starting of this PPT. Right, so the first thing that we are having over here, that is a cyber law regime in India. Okay, so can you tell me that we are having a proper, like you might have heard about IPC, that is the Indian Penal Code. Okay, so that Indian Penal Code that allows you that whatever the legal actions that we are taking regarding any type of a criminal act that is acting within a country. So similarly, we are also having that cyber law in India also, in under which we can cover up all those laws that is being related to any of the this crime that is related to the cyber world, right? So we can see over here that cyber law is basically not like that we must include all those 4 or 5 things or up to 100 things. It may come under a very, it comes under a very vast session of our this today's scenario. So it is not the IT Act, but it includes and it is comprised of many acts, legislation, and like evidence, like IPC, CRPC, all those things. Okay, so the IT Act in itself is a challenging study. So we must understand that what is different, like for a we can say that a non-technical person, it may be difficult to relate him between the different terminology that we use for this cyber world. Okay, so like it is difficult for him to analyze the difference between what is HTTP and what is HTTPS, and so that. So it's not like that for that lawyers or for that court judges, that it is required that they must understand all these terms, but they must see that what type of a criminal act has happened and how we can how we can just give punishment according to the act, that should not be able to that for the particular act that is not required at that case. Okay, so we have also cyber forensics are there, cyber security, cyber law, and whatever the cyber attacks that we are having over here. Now over here we can see that we need to practice. There is a cyber law regime for which we have a law practicing over there. Then we have a cyber forensic cases are there. So many different things, these terms that we are using, we that is relating to the cyber security and the IT. And the last may we are having that evidence and the investigation. So same process that we follow for the different criminal acts in the society, same method is followed for this cyber law also, cyber this attacks also. Okay, so same thing that you can follow for this cyber attacks also, that the same thing that we are following for the normal criminal acts that is happening in the society part, right? Next is that we have this Information Technology Act, which is a second law in the India, governing the field of technology. So the first law was in the year 1885, that was the Indian Telegraph Act. ठीक है, तो पहले हमारे पास क्या चलता था, that was the Indian Telegraph Act was there, that is ITA, that was being passed in 1885. Okay, that means at that time our country was not independent also. But now the second law that we are having over here, that is the IT Act, that is the Information Technology Act over there. This is the second law that is governing the field of a technology, right? Next thing, that is that the first recorded cyber crime like incident that we need that we have recorded, that is in 1820. Okay, so can you believe that at that time that we were having that cyber this is that time in which we were not having that computer system and all those things, but still we have recording the particular the cyber crime incident. Okay, so at that time you see that how technology, according to the technology at that particular time, still we have crime incidents related to the cyber world, right? So next thing is that so this was a concerned person. This is just a history that you can go through. So there was a device that was blended with some analogical technology in the weaving of some special fabrics over there. Okay, so this just result in the fear amongst the this company employees that their traditional, that their livelihood will be threatened because they were using some another type of a technology. Okay, so that was a chance of that they included that particular act under the category of sabotage. Okay, so that is to discourage that that particular company, so that they just prevent the use of that particular new technology. So why they want that new technology should not be there, because it may just affect the livelihood of different employees of their company. Okay, so that is, can any one of you tell me what is sabotage? Yes, anyone is there who can tell me that what is the purpose of what we mean by this particular part? Can any one of you tell me, please? Ritika is there.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Ritika. Can you define this term? If you just see this particular slide, that I think you are understood with this particular part. That like we can usually think about that in 1820 there was there was no chance of technology, but still there was first case of that. So what are your views regarding this particular particular slide?
Ma'am, I think like sabotage means something destructive.
Yes.
Means something meant to destroy.
Destroy, that is you are intentionally doing so. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so what was the intention of that company? That they were just used some different technology, right? So they were using some different technology in the weaving of some particular fabric. Okay, but that was a fear among their employees that if this technology will come up in their company, so what will happen, that may affect the livelihood of that particular employees over there. Okay, so they just they committed the act of sabotage, that they just has, we can say that they were just complaining about that company that the use of this particular technology may affect their livelihood over there, right? So you understood this particular slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, so this was the first case over that in which we have recorded a particular cyber crime over there, right? So why, second thing is that if we have so many laws in our country, if you see our judiciary system of in our country is so vast, then why we require a different cyber law over there? Can any one of you tell me? Sunny is there? Sunny is there? Yes, Sunny is not present, right? Mridul is there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Mridul. So, can you tell me that what is the need of this cyber law? If we are having so many laws, we have a proper IPC codes over there. Okay, our judicial system is so vast. Then, can you tell me that what make different to have the cyber laws in our country?
Cyber law is important because uh, it touches all the part of the transaction and activity. Like
Trans
if we do some
online. Yes, yes,
transaction,
yes. So, cyber law is
online transaction.
not online, but everything that is available in a particular network form. Okay, so anything that you are passing, okay, that you are passing, that you are storing, or that you are transferring using some particular media over there, at that time you are using this cyber law. Okay, so why we require this cyber law? Just to have all those things that comes under, that is related to a particular information technology part. Okay, so IT part is more vast as compared if we talk about only computer parts, right? So computer system is somehow different. IT parts is that particular thing that cover ups each and everything under it. Either it is related to the electronic media, either it is related to the computer media, right? Yes, student. Is it clear, Mridul?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So cyberspace is basically a completely different atmosphere for the human existence. So basic thing is that cyberspace is somehow a technology place is there. Okay, so it doesn't include any type of a government or any type of a territory. Like you are passing some message over there, so there is no need of government in between that. Neither you are using some particular space or a territory or a particular land for in order to transfer that particular. Okay, you have your system with you are having that internet with you, and you are passing all those things. Okay, so to facilitate international norms, in order to curb out all those international norms, so cyber law needs to be very specific over there. Okay, so we require some different this cyber law as compared to the conventional law, because the cyber law will include each and everything over there that is related to the cyberspace. Okay, so basic law that we were having this with this cyber law, that is the IT Act 2000. So the act begins with that it will provide legal recognition of all the transaction carried out by the means of electronic data interchange and the other means of communication. Okay, so commonly it is referred to as electronic commerce. So basically it started with that whatever the electronic media that we are using in order to transferring of that particular data, that is on the electronic communication we are having, right? So we just involve all the use of that is a paperless method. Okay, so firstly that we can say that firstly we were using that particular media in which paper based system was there, but we can also have the electronic filling of the documents with the government agency. Now you can see that we can fill up our all that income tax that pattern over there. We can fill up, we can pay all that online this bills are there. So everything that is in which we are using electronic media, so we need to maintain the security while paying off all those bills, or while the we can say just maintaining the receipts, while maintaining all those data that is related with the electronic part. Okay, so this IT Act 2000, it just begin with that it provides legal recognition of all those transactions. कल को कोई बोले कि हाँ मैंने उसको बिल पे कर दिया है, ठीक है, and the company or the organization say that you haven't paid that particular amount, तो फिर क्या होगा? एक जना मान नहीं रहा, another person is blaming it again. So it should come under that legal recognition over there, right? Next is the evolution of the act. So we can see at which time we have seen that why we required this particular act over there. So it was in the United Nations that some resolution has been passed in 1997 that they adopted the model of e-commerce. ठीक है. So this particular model was being accepted at the first at the United level, and after that it was promoted in the different companies that they should also follow the same mode in order to promote international trades and commerce via the electronic means, right? So same thing, for on the pattern of the same law, India also adopted the same method, right? So cyber law in India is basically aided by many acts, and the we can data statutes are there. So we have IPC, that is the Indian Penal Code. Okay, then we have that Evidence Act over there, right? And the third one is the Code of Criminal Procedure. So and many others are there. So first of all, if you need to blame any other person or organization in any type of a criminal act that is concerned with this electronic part, so first of all we have to see that under this Indian Penal Code, under which act that particular criminal act is being coming. Then we have to find the Evidence Act, that will tell us that we have to give proper evidence for the same, and after that the culprit has to follow the Code of Criminal Procedure, right? So this is the method that these are the steps that we need to be followed if we talk about the cyber law in India, right? Next is the Information Technology Act. So we can say that in the IT Act also, the act can be classified into three aspects. So we are dividing, like in India, what act we are following, that is the IT Act 2000. So that IT Act 2000 is being divided into three parts. One is at the administration level, another one is at the civil level, and the third one is at the criminal and the legal penal code is there. Okay, so at the administration level part, you can see over there, we need to recognize that e-commerce. Okay, so we have to see that what type of a legal company that we are using. So then we have to see that legal enforceability and the authentication of electronic documents, right? So whatever the legal documents that we are working, that we are using during this electronic transmission of information, so all those documents are legal or not. Okay, so what is the methodology, what is the process? Okay, what are the different officer that is being responsible for any type of a that we can say that any type of a crime over there? What is the cyber law tribunal over there, and what is their roles and duties within? So IT Act of 2000 will also be we at the administration level. So if we are working with a big organization, so at that organization level, at that administration level also, we are having some laws over there, right? So if we go to the civil aspect, so it runs parallel to the administrative part of the IT Act. So it will describes you that what constitutes the civil infringement of the rights. Okay, what are the civil rights over there, what are the prescribed civil duties over there? So this is the responsibility of the civil or the person that is engaged with that particular administrator, that they must see that what are their rules, what are their limitations, what are their boundaries, that how they can use anybody data. Like nowadays we easily copy all those content from the internet, but if we follow the policy of that particular organization, we are not allowed to do so. Okay, so under that particular part also some civil aspect will come over there, right? Next is the criminal next is the criminal part over there. So it will recognize and provides the penal measures against the crimes in the cyberspace. Okay, so it will tell us that what are the digital crimes that we are going through, what are the crime against that computer resources. Okay, so it will recognize all those things also. Clear? Next is the related issues to the read that how we can monitor all those issues, what are the main restriction, who will investigate all those things. That is the part of your criminal part. Is it clear, students? Yes, students. Yes, Samriddhi is there. Shivan is there. Yes, Shubham Gopalka. No one is present. No one is present. Sarika. Okay, I am just discussing I'm just sharing the next poll with you. Okay, so kindly give answer for the same.
Okay, ma'am.
Right. So I'm sharing second poll with you. Okay, students, kindly give answer for this. Okay, students, I am going to end the poll. Okay. Okay, I am sharing results with you. Fine. So the first question is that which of the following is not done by cyber criminal? That is a report vulnerability in any system. So that will no criminal will just tell that this particular point is vulnerable in your organization. So fourth option is the right answer, right? Next question is that which of the following is not an antivirus software? So that is the code red. Okay, so that is not a antivirus software. Okay, clear? So I am just stopping this particular poll over here, and now we will again move to the this particular PPT part. Okay, so what this IT Act 2000 says that it will recognize the cardinal philosophy of cyber disputes. So it also consider that the disputes that occurs in the cyber world, this is also one of the disputes in the case of this IT Act, right? Under this IT Act. So it also consider that computer can be abused. Okay, so like human being are abused, so it can also consider computer also a main entity that can be abused over. Okay, student, just wait for a while. Okay, second thing is that computers are weapons as well as the victim. So it also considers that the computers are weapons over here. Okay, and also computer itself is not, but the person who is using that particular computer is also a victim, right? So the term computer has a wide amplitude in the if we talk about that IT Act over here, so it considered that the computer has a wide area in the view of this IT Act. Clear? Next is that, so according to this IT Act, so how it consider computer as an entity. So computer means that it is an electronic, magnetic, optical, or a high speed data processing, right? So that device that performs logical, arithmetic, and the memory function. So this is the main definition of the computer system that has been given to us, that how it can just define that computer over here. Next is that it also include all those input, output, and the processing, storage, and the computer software. Okay, so that are connected or related to the computer system in one or the another way. Similarly, it also includes this is the section 2 of the act, right? So first part, I part is this, J part is that computer network. So it also consider computer network as the means of interconnection of one or more computers through the use of either satellite, microwave, or the terrestrial line over there. Okay, so the terminals or the complex consisting of two or more interconnected computers, whether or not interconnection is continuously maintained. So according to what this particular slides need to convey that according to this IT Act 2000, how it include computer, how it includes computer network, and how it includes computer resource. So computer resource means the computer system, computer network, data, computer database, or software. So these are some of the resources for that. So again, we have that computer system. Now see all these four terms: computer, computer network, computer resource, computer system. So all these things includes almost everything that is related to the computer part. Because what happened when we apply for any type of a criminal, or when we work about any type of a jurisdiction, we have to include each and every terminology in that particular jurisdiction. Because if we don't include that particular part, so some may act like that this particular thing is not available in our acts, it is not available in under our law. So in order to just define all those terms, we are using this particular terminology. So you can, in exams also, there could be term that how we define a computer network. So you have to use same line to line word for that. Okay. So this is the main definition of a computer. Next thing is that there are some amendments also in this IT Act 2000. Like we also include the cyber cafes. Okay, so we have a common place over there. I hope you understand this particular cyber cafe over there. So this S2NA, these are the some terminology then we use in the judicial system. We have electronic signature. We include cyber communication devices. Then we use cyber security over there. Okay, and we have a Indian we have some particular this Indian cert also there. So all these terms are being included. These are some of the amendments that has been done into IT Act 2000 ठीक है. ठीक है. So cert is what? That is a this is a certification program, or we can say that this is the that if a particular company is having some cert over there, a certificate over there, so how we can include that particular part, right? So the next thing is that we have proper section 4, that is a legal recognition of electronic records. So student, this slide, this particular PPT is quite important. Okay, so you have to sometime remember all these terms that we are using under this section part, because it will give you legal recognition of like it may be in exam some question may be asked that how you can just recognize this particular electronic records. So if any information is required in printed or written form under any law, so information provided in electronic form, so it should be also included in this legal recognition of the electronic record. ठीक है. जो अगर आप कोई डॉक्यूमेंट राइट कर रहे हो और या प्रिंट कर रहे हो, तो दैट एवरी डॉक्यूमेंट कम्स अंडर द legal we can say that legal law under this particular act over there. ठीक है. So it basically provides you with the provision for recognizing the electronic documents. कल को कोई भी बोल दे कि हाँ we have signed that particular document, and if that particular document is not legally authorized, okay, so we don't have any term that we cannot challenge that particular document. So we have to include all those electronic records under the legal recognition of that particular record. So this is one of the section 4, and we have that section 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So all these sections are some of the important sections that are related with this cyber world. Okay, so we like section 5 says that legal recognition of electronic signature. 6 section will use of e-records and signatures in government. 7 and 7A, that is the retention of electronic records and audits. And 8.1 is the publication of rules and regulation. And 9.1 is the no right to claim and insist on electronic documents. Okay, and the 10th is that the central government retains to the power to make rules with respect to the signature type, manner, format, and process. So earlier also you have seen that during different cases in our country, there was some section of society where government has banned the usage of that internet. Okay, so this all everything comes under the government, so they can use that particular part according to the requirement. So they have full authority to analyze, to curve, or to just judge that whatever the content that is being shown on internet, on whatever the content that is being passed, right? So like we have this section 10 and section 11 and 12 that is discuss about that what is the sender, who is the sender of that particular electronic record. Okay, and is that person is authorized to do so, and what is the responsible duty of that program or of that particular person on behalf of the other, right? Section 12 is there that discuss the receipt of the acknowledgement where nothing has been stipulated. So it will see there that whatever the content that we have sharing, that is being the content is we can say that a proper content that we are passing. There is no misleading information in that type of a content. Okay, so we can see over there that whatever the contents that we are passing, that we can define under different sections over there. Okay, so also in IT Act we are having some overview of other relevant admin provisions also. Like section 16 say that central government to prescribe security procedure. So government may also prescribe some of the they can perform some of the amendments, or they can provide prescribed procedures over there. So section 17 to 34 also that define the appointment and the regulation of controller and the certificate authority. Similarly, sector 35 to 39 that will obtain the digital signature certificates and section 40 to 42 will also define the duties of the subscriber of the that what are the retained, that if we are using the private key over there, so who can use all those things, right? So student, you just go through all these sections over there. That will tell you that all those sections that we are having in order to use that particular IT Act 2000. Okay, so you just not required to remember all the section, but whatever the content that has been mentioned on this particular PPT, you are required to do so. Clear? Yes, students. Any doubt till now? Yes, Sunny, you want to say something? Sunny is there? Yes, Sunny. Okay, Guleen Kaur is there? Yes, Khushpreet is there? Upinder? See, this is your attendance, Anna. I have called so many students and nobody responded
Yes,
me.
ma'am.
Yes, Upinder.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Upinder, please tell me what are the things that we have done so far?
Hello.
Yes, Upinder, please tell me. What are the contents that we have covered so far? क्या किया आज के लेक्चर में हमने? See, I am continuously speaking from 11:35, right? So anything?
साइबर लॉ पढ़े मैम.
हाँ, और क्या किया साइबर लॉ में? क्या क्या चीजें होती है साइबर लॉ में हमारे पास?
लॉज होते हैं मैम, उनके अकॉर्डिंग मतलब
क्यों चाहिए?
जो
Why we
crimes
require?
वगैरह
Why
होते
we
हैं,
require this cyber law?
ताकि मैम क्राइम्स वगैरह जो करते हैं जो उनको ऊपर फिर केस वगैरह हो.
अच्छा, और कुछ?
बस मैम ये थोड़ा.
ठीक है. Sunny is there? I think Sunny just forget to mute his mic. Okay. Niladri? Yes, Niladri?
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Anji ma'am, good morning.
Good morning. Who is there? Sunny.
Sunny Sharma ma'am.
Yes, very good, Sunny Sharma. Thank God you responded me. Where were you?
Ma'am.
I called you many times. Where were you?
Ma'am, actually there was a problem in network.
Okay. So you were
I was
hearing
trying to
me?
unmute myself, but it was not working.
No,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
you were continuously unmuted from last 15 minutes. You know that?
Yes, ma'am. I was trying to unmute myself. Once it was unmute, then again it was mute and unmute and mute.
Acha. So anything?
So I couldn't understand what is going on.
Okay, okay. I know that you are very keen to listen each and everything, Hana?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Sunny, tell me what are the contents we have discussed in today's lecture?
Ma'am, we have discussed about laws.
Yeah. What type of law we have
Security laws,
discussed?
cyber laws, IPC,
Okay.
Indian Penal Code. What are the cases?
Very good.
That why we need to make the cyber laws.
Okay. और क्या किया हमने?
And now we are doing case study.
Acha, no, we haven't started that case study. By mistakenly, I have just clicked that particular slide.
Oh.
Okay, Sunny, fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I hope that you are clear with all those contents, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Any problem till now?
To me or to everyone, ma'am?
Me to you. I will ask each and every
Uh,
student, but now I am talking to you. So you tell me anything that you didn't understand regarding the cyber security. Have you attended last cyber lab on that Wednesday we were having?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you have worked on that particular softwares. You remember what are the different softwares that we have done?
Ma'am, wait a second. I'm trying to remember.
Okay. Okay, you just think upon in the end of the lecture. I will again ask you. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, I just give the third poll to the students. So,
Okay,
Sunny,
ma'am.
you just remember that, okay? And I will ask you before ending the session.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, students, I am going to launch the third poll. So, kindly give answers for that, okay? Okay, students, I am going to end the poll. Okay. So I am sharing results with you. So the first question was that which of the following is or are threats of electronic payment system. So obviously computer worms, it is not like that all these threats may affect a particular part of the system only, but this is everything like computer worms, virus and Trojan horse. All these things may affect our payment system. Next is the keylogger. That is, keylogger is a type of a firmware, antivirus or a spyware. So this is a spyware. So can anyone of you tell me that what is a spyware? How we can define the term spyware? Yes, Ayush, Subedi. Sunny, you can tell me what is spyware? Yes, Sunny. Okay, Sunny
Yes,
is,
ma'am.
yes, Sunny, tell me what is a spyware?
Ma'am, it's a virus for phishing attack. Smikta virus.
Spyware is a what it okay, so what it does basically? Keylogger क्या करता है हमारे पास?
Ma'am, it's something unwanted software that
It
try
just
to
maintains the
filtrate our
record.
computer
Yes,
device
yes, yes. It just maintains the record of
and
the
try
user.
to consume some sensitive information.
Yes, yes. Fine. Okay, students.
Hello.
Yes, yes, Sunny. Yes, you are right. I've heard the definition from you. Okay, next thing is that again I am going to launch the. Okay, before that I just see that we have completed for today. So these are some of the laws. You just go through all these laws and you just revise some of the laws over here. Okay, so like we have a different administration. If we are working with this particular administration provision, these are some of the rights. Okay, and here is the administrative character also. Like if we are having section 44, if for which we are having penalty for failure to furnish the information return, right? So here also there is particular section. We have a section 61 that will include the civil code excluded from the jurisdiction part. Okay, so it will see that whatever the content that will come under the law, and it will see that what are the things that is under the law and what are the things that we can exclude from that particular law. Okay, so again we have different panel offenses also over here that will relate that if we are assessing some particular computer without the permission of the computer owner, so it will also penalize some sort of a unauthorized access over there. So all this act will come under the section 43 over there. So without section 43, basically this is an important section that will tell that without the permission of the owner of the computer, so we are just disrupting that particular part of a computer. We are just downloading, copying extracts. We are extracting some particular type of a data. We are introducing or causing a we are introducing some particular type of a virus on anybody computer. We are providing damaging to any type of a computer resource. So that all will come under that particular this section 43. So this section is quite important. That will tell us that what are the, if we are using somebody's information or a computer. Okay, so that will come under this particular part. Okay, so like some employees are authorized to access word file, accesses internet. Okay, so if we give some particular right to a particular employee, but it is accessing some particular internet over here, that is also a, we can say that that is also a crime under this particular law. Okay, so if a particular student spread a virus with his USB drive, this also comes under a particular law over there. Okay, next is the neighbor by mistakenly thus just cut off your internet cable over there. So you can also, this is also a particular crime under this cyber law over here. Okay, so this is the case study. You can just go through afterwards when I will pass over here. ठीक है. So there is another section over here that will tell you that if you are tampering some computer source document, you are penalizing some particular data, ठीक है, with a dishonest motive, you are sending some offensive messages through communication services. So many times you have heard that, like through the internet, that some personalities or some famous personality got threat messages through all this electronic media. So we have full right to complain over there. We have a full laws under which we can just file case to someone, to the concerned person, if he is threatening someone using this electronic media over there, right? So you must go through all these laws, okay, and just remember as much as you can, because it will help you and it will tell you that if what are the different cyber laws we are having over here. Okay, so these are some of the section. I will let you know that no doubt we have so many slides based on all this session. So I will let you that that which sections are important. So you just go through all that particular section only. Clear? So I think this is enough for today particular lecture. So any doubt you are having? So this is somehow the, we can say that under, okay, beforehand we have discussed that what are the different cyber laws we are having, and all these cyber laws come under some IPC code also, that is Indian Penal Code also. So whatever the charges, whatever the punishment that will be faced by that concerned person will be under these particular IPC's laws over there. Okay, so sending defamatory messages by email, forging, so all this messages will, whatever the criminal act that we are having, so all those this particular messages, what all over this criminal act will come under this particular IPC code, right? So like we have online sale of arms, so that will come under the Arms Act. Okay, if we are selling drugs online, that will also come under this NDPC Act. So this slide is quite important. You can just go through all this now. So Evidence Act, what it says that this is the filing of an FIR is easy, but it is not a charge sheet over there. So digital evidence is extremely volatile and difficult to preserve. So Indian criminal justice system requires guilt to be proved beyond the reasonable doubt. So you require a full act of all those messages, full act of all those evidences that you have, so that you can file a case to the other person. Okay, so that it will view that it recognizes electronic evidence. Okay, it deals with the special provision of digital evidence. Okay, so it can also question your digital evidence also. So it requires a certificate from the examiner of that particular digital evidence. Clear? So this is the Evidence Act you can see over here, that will tell you that if there is any type of evidence that you are showing for particular type of a crime, so this is how you can use that particular Evidence Act. Clear? So this was all about that cyber law regime in India. So you can just go through all this act very carefully, and some question may be asked, obviously may be asked from this particular part of your syllabus. So before ending the session, I just need to share last poll with you. So kindly give answers for the same. Okay, students, I'm going to end the poll. So I'm sharing results with you. Okay, the first question is that in which year India's IT Act came into existence? So this was 2000. Okay, so the first option is the right answer. So next question is that what is the full form of ITA 2000? So that is Information Technology Act 2000. So last option is the right answer. So so this was all about today's session. So anything that you need to discuss with me regarding today's session? Okay, anything you need to discuss with me? Any doubt? Okay, anything you need to discuss with me? Yes, Sunny is there. Sunny, you can hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, आपको याद आ गया which software that we have done in that cyber lab?
Yes, ma'am.
कौन से थे?
मैम TMAC सॉफ्टवेयर था एक.
TMAC.
क्या मैम?
TMAC.
TMAC.
Yes, and the second one was?
एक था स्मिक्ता वायरस.
Virus नहीं, smikta.net.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. You are quite brainy.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, students, any doubt? Yes, Mridul. Ritika is there. Narinder Pal, Niladri.
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt, bache? Prince Agarwal,
No, ma'am.
Rahul Rajat.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Shah Sajid Aslam.
Present, ma'am.
Okay, present. Shah Sajid, have you attended the lecture?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt?
नहीं, ma'am.
चलो ठीक है. You are fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, students. Thank you very much. Thank you for patience listening. I hope you will go through all these lectures afterwards. And if you feel like any problem discussing with me, you can contact me anytime. Right? Okay. Thank you, bache. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.